Welcome back to another episode of The Trust Tree. I am your trustee, the Najvino. Before we even get started, YouTube, subscribe, Rumble, follow. We are on the road to 10,000. Do not want to have to find you people. Stop watching shows and not subscribing. That is rude. And we do not do rude. We consume grace and we extend grace. And that's how we get to love, peace, and understanding. So you're going to get at least one of those things if you subscribe on YouTube and follow on Rumble. Okay? Great. All right. Hope everybody's having a great week so far. We are back again. And this week's focus, we're still in resiliency. Grow through what you go through. So we like to talk about real life situations, real life stories, and we talk to real people here. So this week will be no different. We'll get right to it. This week's guest, we have Shawn. I'd like to do a little intro where I let you tell the people who you are in your words.
Do I have to?
I mean, I guess you don't have to if you don't want to.
Oh my goodness. Well, I am Shawn from Let's Wrap Wellness, which is a nonprofit organization that's geared towards mental health.
Okay.
Yeah.
Which is extremely important because
Extremely important.
we are not taking care of that out here in these streets.
Nope.
Mm-mm. And I feel like in a way it's becoming almost cliche from different podcasts and things of that nature. But I think people are focusing more on the things side of self-care than actually really doing the work and really getting down to the things that are, I hate to say it, but wrong with them,
Yeah.
So I think, with situations like this where people actually are having conversations and talking through things, it's really doing a service.
Yeah. Because, back in the day, mental health was a taboo.
Mm-hmm.
It was not talked about. It was not discussed. I had a young man that I was speaking with, and he actually played NFL, and he's now a rapper. But anyway, he said that he spoke to his mother and told her that he felt depressed, and she's like, "No, boy, get on out of here." Years later, he went back to her and was like, "Man, mom, blah, blah, blah." And he was like, "But why did you brush me off like that?" And she told him she didn't know how to respond to him. She didn't know, what to say to, my child is saying that he's depressed. I don't see why you should be depressed. So you're not depressed,
Mm-hmm.
right? So yeah, it's a been a taboo, but now it's being in the forefront now.
Yeah.
And what people don't realize is wellness is, several dimensions.
Mm-hmm.
Spiritually, mentally, physically, financially, we have to, and when one is unbalanced, it shakes them all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And to your point, I remember when I was a kid on both sides of my family, in both neighborhoods, the grandparents are always the neighborhood.
Yeah.
There was a guy in each one where he would just pace the block
Yeah.
all day. We were really little. Like, I
Mhm.
don't know, maybe like 6 or 7. Maybe like the first time I actually paid attention to him, I remember sitting on the porch. He must have walked up and down the street 26 times.
Yeah.
And finally,
Don't let me find out you was counting.
I was. I was. Because like I would get dropped off over there and I'd be like, oh, well, there
Yeah.
he goes. And then I'd be in the house for hours and I come back out, oh, there he goes. But this one particular day, I was like, does he really just do that though?
Yeah.
And I sat and I watched. And then I spoke to him.
Yeah.
And that was the thing. You don't talk to him.
Yeah.
They never told us to not talk to him.
Right.
But nobody talked to him. So I spoke to him and he kind of almost was like, somebody to talk to me. And then he stopped.
Yeah.
And then he kind of said, hi. And I said, why do you do that?
Yeah.
What? Why do you just walk up and down, back and forth? Like, did you go watch TV, read a book? I don't know. And he just kept going.
Wow.
And I'm like, what? And then I started asking my grandparents, like, what's his deal? And they said that he had went to Vietnam and he came back and he had like spots in his head or whatever. And that's just how he was when he came back. Like
Wow.
I guess for like the first couple of days, they tried to like I don't know what the hell they tried to do.
Yeah.
But whatever it was, it didn't work. And that was the happy medium.
Yeah.
Just let him walk the block, you know.
Yeah.
But I don't know, now they have, specialists for PTSD and they have veteran services and
Right.
all that kind of stuff. Like I don't even know if they tried. Like
Yeah.
like I was thinking about that the other day. Like what the hell, what's up with him now? Like, is he still alive,
Yeah.
Cuz he was older when I was really young, but there's always somebody that they just let loose.
And really back in the day, it was just, and I believe still to this day, but I'm, not for sure, but just medicate them,
Mhm.
keep them out the way.
Yeah.
You know, my father was in Vietnam, and my grandmother told me when he came back, he, had PTSD, and he had to shake it off.
Mm.
He was like shell shocked. He was special forces
Mm.
over there. So, seen and done a lot. And, thank God, he came through it. He became electrician with ComEd and was there 40, 50 years before he retired. So,
It
yeah,
worked out.
but it's real.
Yeah, it is.
Trauma affects us all differently.
Yeah. And then some people can't even really articulate what they're going through to even say, I need help,
Yeah.
But even noticing your loved one is different,
Yeah.
you know? People got to start advocating for themselves and those that can't speak up for themselves because
Exactly.
shit's getting real.
It's real, real out here.
Was there anything in particular that drove you to create your organization, or you just were like, it's about time, let's just do it?
No, yeah, because total transparency, my mother dealt with depression and anxiety, and I grew up with my grandmother. My grandmother raised me, and you know it was none of that. It was like, what's wrong with her? Never really saw it until she came to live with me.
Mhm.
And just like my brother was killed, and 20 years later, like his birthday and stuff, and she just would go full moat crying and, depressed for, you know, weeks at a time. And I'm like, what is wrong with you? You know? Um, and then I lost my 15-year-old son, right? He's my godson, but I didn't birth him, but I raised him. I got him when he was 4 months old. So there is no time frame I learned about grieving,
Mm-mm.
and everybody grieves differently.
Yeah.
So, when I started living with my mother and learning different things and seeing different, her behaviors and different things like that. And it's just like, wow, because I didn't grasp it.
Mhm.
I'm just, oh my God, she's so weak. Oh, I'm never going to be like her. But then I realized she was one of the strongest people that I knew. All of the because she went through so much as a child, same thing. It was like a revolving tree. Her mother was an alcoholic. She was, beat on during her childhood. My grandmother was never around. My aunt raised, my mother and her siblings. And then here we go, the same thing with my mother,
Mhm.
right? She was never around, and she used drugs and alcohol. And, you know, it was just like, I thought, oh my God, she's so weak, you know? But then, again, like I said, she was one of the strongest people. She was, you know, during born in the 50s, around in the 60s, with the racism really bad. And, she was stayed in, the African American community and had African American kids, so her family disowned her. And, it was
That's a
just,
lot right
it's a
there.
lot right there. And then, you ended up getting beat for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and, you know, a lot.
Yeah.
It's a lot. And I didn't realize then, of course, I'm a child, I'm growing up. And even when I got in my 20s, it's just like, oh my God, like I can't believe her. But yeah.
Would you say that how you grew up affected how you parent
Oh, absolutely.
for the better or the worse?
Wow. I'm going to say I'm kind of in between, because there's a lot of things like with my mother, not knowing where my next meal was coming from,
Mm,
right? And I know this is TMI, but not having tissue to wipe your ass. You know what I'm saying? Um, Soap, had to, bathe in dishwashing liquid and things like that. So I overbuy.
okay.
If you go to my house right now, I got about 4 cases of tissue. I mean, 20 things of toothpaste, deodorant, all that.
Because it's just certain shit that never goes
That,
away.
right?
Yeah.
And, I've always said, I never want my children to endure what I did. But also being, beat growing up with extension cords and things like that, I've never whooped my kids. Never.
Yeah. Would you when you think about that, because I know a lot of people feel like that's the lost element
Yeah.
in today's world.
Right.
But thinking about how it made you feel, because I honestly I've only gotten one whip in my whole life. I
Yeah.
just wasn't that kind of kid.
Mm-hmm.
But like even the one that I got, like I remember how I felt, and I'm
Yeah.
not sure that it really solved anything.
Yeah.
So like, it is. Do you think like, okay, if my kids do something, I'm taking the gentle parenting approach just because I can't see me making someone feel the way I felt.
Yeah. However, with my youngest, she was me.
Okay.
She was out of control. Her mouth was, and all the way up until she was about 12 years old, I never put my hands on her. And I told her, her mouth, oh my God. And I told her, I said, I just need to tell you, anytime you rear, as my grandmother would say, you rear back at me, I'm gonna whoop you like a bitch in the street. Those were my exact words.
Did she cool out?
No,
Oh.
she squared off on me.
Oh wow.
Yeah, she
Whoa.
squared off on me.
Were you shocked?
I was. I mean, it really took me aback. And you know, her and I had some knockdown dragouts, and said, you know what, this isn't working. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
She'd be okay for a week or two, and then she's right back to doing what she wanted to do. And like I said, she was me, because when I was young, I thought like that. Well, you know what? I'll deal with it when it happens. I'll deal with the repercussions when it comes. I'm going to do what I want to do. And that was her mentality.
Mm.
Yeah. From sneaking a boy in the basement every morning. I'm thinking she's going out the front door going to school. She's going around the back. She went number 14, going around the back, going in the basement, her and her little boyfriend. Yeah. So, and it's like, I had to tell her, I said, I wasn't born this age. I understand. I get it. I've done the same. I've been there, done that. You know, you just, you don't understand. Okay. But I tell you what. Yeah. I mean, it does. You think about how you were raised, and if you were traumatized, you know, during your childhood, you absolutely want to do things differently.
Hmm.
You know, for your children.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Do you, and I've always said this just, from my own personal experience, mothers, they love on their sons, but they teach their daughters.
yeah,
You agree?
I agree.
Yeah.
I just had to tell my daughter that, and she's 32. And I just had to tell her that the other day. I said, I know she thinks, oh, here we go again, And I'm like, I'm preparing you,
Yeah.
want you to be totally independent. I only want you to rely on the man upstairs. That's it. That's all. If you get with someone, yes, they should bring something to the table. You know, um, they say you should be equally yoked. Uh, and also when you're in a relationship with someone, I feel as though, yes, you should be equally yoked. However, when one hits a bad turn or a bump in the road, you should be there to
Gotta pick up the slack.
pick up the slack,
Hmm.
right? The relationship should never be one way. Never. And my youngest daughter is so um giving, and when she's in a relationship she loves hard, and of course mama sees things, but mama don't know nothing.
Oh, yeah.
Mama don't know nothing. Tell her in the door, no, he ain't, nope, that's not the one. But when you tell them no, the more they gravitate.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So it's you definitely try to train them and prepare them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you were younger, did you want to have kids?
No. No, ma'am.
Oh, I was the same way.
Yeah. No, ma'am, and I have 7.
Yep.
Yeah. Yep.
Life be life, and
Life be low. Get out of here.
yeah,
That's what my new phrase now is life, and I be lifing.
yeah. That's
Yeah.
what we do. In hindsight, would you say, despite all of everything, that you had a happy childhood?
Oh no.
Not even a little bit.
No. I had pockets of happiness.
Okay. Okay.
Pockets of happiness. Um my mother, I can't even, well, I can. I remember one time we went to a waterfall or something like that. You know, um, shit. After we got out there, we were chased by the Hell's Angels, but it was a happy moment to be able to go there, right? Um, you remember that? Yeah. Um, they did. They
Damn.
definitely did. Uh, like I said, I had pockets with my grandmother. My grandmother raised me from the time I was 9, off and on, till I was 22. And then I came here and been here ever since. And my grandmother was a stern type. She was never the type to say, I love you, or she showed her love. Hey, you got a clean house. You got a meal on the stove every day. I go to work every day. There was no hugs and birthday celebrations and, anything like that.
She just took care of business.
Yeah. She took care of home. That's how she showed her love.
I think that should be a love language.
Yeah.
Because a lot of them, that's what they did. They took care of home.
Yeah.
Now, when you got here, you said you were how old?
Well, The first time I came here was a year and a half. Then I came back at 9.
Okay.
And then I was back and forth from here in Chicago till I was 15.
Okay.
Um, then I went back to California until I was 22.
Okay. Then when you came here, do you think if you stayed in California, it would have been better or worse?
I'd have been dead probably.
Damn. That
Yeah.
is not better.
No.
How was here when you got here? Well, did you want to stay here or you had to stay here?
No. The last time that I came, I wanted to be here. I needed to be here, and I knew this. You know, it was horrible, and it's so crazy how that came about. I went to my aunt's house, buy some drugs, and when I walked in the door, my grandmother was sitting there, and I hadn't seen my grandmother a few years. And she just looked at me and she said, "Are you ready to come home?" And I just was like, "Oh my God." And we flew out the next day. And she told me that my cousin, who's a prophet, actually sent her to get me
Oh wow.
because she seen me in somebody's trunk dead. So, yeah, that was life changing, to say the least. And so, yeah, I wanted to be here. I needed to be here.
That's when she said that, when the cousin said that they saw you in somebody's trunk dead, did you receive that in the moment or you were already like,
No,
I'm just leaving?
yeah. They didn't tell me that right then. She just said, "You ready to come home?" And I was like, hell yeah, because of the situation that I was you know, um, in an abusive relationship. Like I said, I was on drugs, so yeah, I was ready to get up out of there. And after I got back, I want to say about a week later, that's when my grandmother sat down and was like, "Yeah, Bonnie told me, that she seen you in the trunk dead, that I needed to come and get you."
Do you feel like that definitely could have been your reality?
Absolutely.
Jesus.
Absolutely. Yeah. Abso-freaking-lutely. Huh.
It's crazy just the shit that like just happens around us,
Yeah.
you know? And then how we just kind of are going through the motions in just the most chaotic situations, just operating in survival mode.
And survival mode. That was me all the way. I'm surviving, right? And that's another thing, in regards to being well, you know, we need to thrive,
Yeah.
not just survive.
Yeah.
We've been surviving forever. We need to thrive. Yep.
I sometimes wonder what is it about people that just can't just stop and be like, you know what? This shit is not working. Like I'm literally just barely, making it. I'm
Yeah.
barely going through the motions. You know what I'm saying? I'm drowning.
Yeah. And you know what? They in um when you go to these, as they call them, rooms for drug rehab, they say that we always do the same thing expecting different results,
Mm-hmm.
right? So, we go and I'm gonna try it this way, you know. It's the same thing, just a different street. I'm gonna go down this street, but I'm still doing the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it'll be less dangerous, or, you know, uh, I'll have a better outcome or whatever the case may be. Doing the same thing, expecting different results.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's yeah, absolutely. Would you say that you had or what memory, or if you could say that you have one that shaped who you are today?
Wow. I can't. I really don't know what I gravitate towards is my grandmother. And, before she passed, she told me, I'm so proud of you, you know, um, to see you, you know, doing better, making better decisions, you know, because yeah, like I said, younger, I didn't have any tools.
Mm-hmm.
My mother didn't have any tools. She didn't provide me with any tools. You know, my mama told me at 12 years old, I can go to the bar, I can get drunk, I can smoke. I was 12. I was hanging out with her employees. I actually trained her employees, right? My mother was a manager of a boutique. When she brought people in, I would train them. These people, I was 12, these people were 24, 25 years old. And I've always hung out with people that were older than me. So, when my mother told me, oh, yeah, you can drink as long as you do it at home. Shit, if I can do it at home.
What am I doing outside?
Right? Yeah.
I mean, I think that's great though that you had Granny to say, "I'm proud of you," because that's acknowledgement of a step toward breaking those
Yeah.
generational curses.
Yeah.
Because that shit is real.
It's real. And I've always said, if I can be half of the woman that my grandmother was, I'd be batting 1,000.
Mm-hmm.
Because my grandmother was a strong Black woman, as most Black women are, you know, um, especially the older generation, because we were given morals, standards,
Mm-hmm.
and we didn't, or most often we couldn't take the easy route. We had
Right.
to work for things.
Yep. And it was effortless. It appeared to be
Yeah,
effortless and always classy.
always. My grandmother, she'll tell you she actually worked at a private mental hospital for 25 years. She started off emptying bedpans. She said, I started there making $2 an hour, and she worked herself up to a psych tech. She said, for somebody that, excuse me, only went to the 8th grade, and back then, as they say, reading, writing, arithmetic,
Mm-hmm.
not even arithmetic, reading, writing, arithmetic.
Yep.
That's all she, was given. But she thrived. She was blessed.
And so many of them did. Like it's we have so many resources and limitless potential, but
Yeah,
they had nothing, and it just seemed like they
nothing.
just do it so much better than
Yeah,
us.
yeah,
But a lot of that probably was them just not having the tools to say, "Hey, I'm drowning,"
yeah.
or who the hell would you tell that
Who
to?
would you tell? Exactly.
Right,
Who could you tell?
right, because they struggling just like you.
Yeah.
So yeah, I get that absolutely. Would you say you're happy in life right now?
Oh, yes. I may not be where I want to be, but I sure ain't where I used to be.
Amen.
And I'm going through, as you said earlier, to grow through to get where I need to be.
Yep.
When you said that, grow through to go through, or what did you say?
Grow through what you go through.
Yeah, that's one of my sayings as well.
Oh, really?
I promise to God.
That's funny.
Yeah,
That's funny.
yeah,
But it's true.
it's true.
Like I think,
We got to go through to grow through.
yeah, you gotta
And
learn
you got to learn.
because we fuck up every day. But did you learn from it? Is what
Right.
matters.
Of course, we're only human. We get in our own selves way
Hmm.
all the time, you know, because in this generation, everybody wants things now, 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 instant gratification, right? So, uh, a lot of times, most often, I ain't gonna say every time, but most often, you know, I have to pray about something.
Hmm.
Let me see where the Lord is gonna guide me.
Hmm.
Lead, guide, and direct me, Lord.
Yep.
Instead of this is what I'm gonna do.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know how they say you wanna make God laugh, tell him your plan. And you don't learn that. You can say that out
Yeah,
loud. You can hear somebody else say that, but you don't learn that until the shit happens to you.
yeah,
And then it's funny because it's like, I knew that already.
yeah.
And maybe I just wasn't supposed to have whatever it was that I wanted.
Because guess what? God gives you the vision,
Mhm.
but he doesn't provide you with the plan.
Mm-mm.
Because you know why? That's just like Joseph. Joseph, when his brothers sold him off into slavery, and then he ended up in Egypt and saving his family because of who he grew into. If God said, Najvino, um, I'm going to have you, you're going to be a millionaire by the end of this year, a billionaire by the end of this year, but you're going to have to go and chop down these weeds and, go over here and lay in this ditch, and if he gives you the plan, you're going to be like, you know what?
Yeah,
Nah,
I
I'm
don't
good.
know. Right.
I'm good.
Yep.
When
Yeah.
seriously, he'll give you the vision, but he won't give you the plan because if you knew what it entailed, you
It'll shake you.
it'll shake you. You pausing on it. Wow, do I really want that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of learning associated with life in also.
Ah.
Because like I had to really tell myself that one of my biggest issues was when I want to do something, I want to talk about it.
Oh,
The fuck you talking about it for?
right,
Just fucking do it.
right.
And then like the more I would talk about it, it was like a 50-50 thing. Either I would talk myself out of it because now it's this, or I'm telling people about it and they are telling me 52,000 different reasons why
Yeah,
that's a badass idea.
yeah,
But then when you think about it, it's not their vision to understand. It wasn't given to them.
exactly.
So like now when if it's something that I'm uncertain about, of course I got close confidants, but
Yeah,
it's not really like a what do you think about this? It's more or less just me venting,
yeah,
And I'm probably saying that, but I gotta sit still and just fill out the
yeah.
situation because I can't hear the universe if I'm hearing what everybody else is saying.
Hello.
And like that is really working.
Yeah,
But also, I think that people have to understand that the things that you think, the things that you say, it's all the same thing because your brain doesn't know difference.
right.
And if it's constant negative and doubting and blah 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 blah, then that's just what you're gonna attract.
Yeah. And I, I can't be around Debbie Downers.
Mm-hmm.
You know, um, Never have anything good to say.
Mm-hmm.
People don't realize the spirits that are on people that could jump off into you
Mm-hmm.
if you are in their presence long enough and you continuously talk to this, like you said, talk to this person, or they're always in your circle. And I refuse. Devil, you a lie. you know um I just, because in most often, I'm going to say 9 out of 10, most often people that really know me, they say, "Oh my God, you're such a happy person." Even through everything that I've been through in my life, and I'm like, why wouldn't I be? Because again, people don't realize the best best blessing that we can receive is our feet hitting the floor every day. A chance to try it all again,
Yep.
a chance to make today better than yesterday. And every day that I'm afforded that opportunity, I mean, I'm just so thankful and grateful. Here I am recovering from a stroke and a heart attack.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And crazy. I went to Thanks Friendsgiving. Great time, had me a glass of wine and, got all the way back home. And this was in Evanston, I think we traveled to. And, I'm in Markham. So that was
That
a
was a
little
drive.
commute. Yeah. And got all the way home and I'm like, oh my God, what did I eat? Gave me heartburn, right? Okay. Now all of a sudden, all this is just in pain.
That's what I was going to ask you if you got the jaw
Yep,
pain.
I got the jaw pain. And not being educated, when you not ever, never in a million years, did I think I was having a heart attack? You think of the left arm and, all of this,
But they say
right?
in women it's the jaw.
Women, it's the jaw. That's what I just learned. And of course, us, first thing come to my mind, let me pop a couple of Tylenols. You pop a couple of Tylenol, see if this will subside. And I took a couple of Tylenols, 15 minutes. Told my daughter, take me to the emergency room. And went there. And within 8 hours, I was in emergency surgery. I had my frontal artery was 90% clogged.
Mm.
So I had to have stents put in. And what's so bizarre is that was November the 19th, 30 days to the day. December 19th, I had a stroke. I woke up, logged in for work, and then all of a sudden, all this tingling sensation and went numb and, you know, rushed me to the hospital.
So
And
you weren't alone?
no, thank God, my daughters, yeah, rushed me to the hospital. I'm like, oh, yeah, you're having a stroke. I'm like,
Yeah.
what?
And that's a blessing because with strokes, the more time my dad had one. Hell, it might have been around the time you had yours.
Wow.
And he he was by himself, so we don't know how long before from when he had the stroke to when he was found, and he never
Oh, he
recovered.
passed.
No, he's alive.
Oh,
Yeah, he's alive.
phew.
He's alive, but he never regained himself.
Yeah.
You know, and he had that. This was his second one,
Oh,
but this one it was the time
yeah.
because with the other one you could just tell something not right.
Yeah.
You know, just I don't know. Let's get him to the hospital.
I'm telling you, I'm so humbly thankful and grateful, because right then, like I said, that morning I logged in and I went and sat on the couch. And then all of a sudden, I just started this tingling sensation. And then everything started going numb. And then I went to talk to my daughter and my whole mouth, you know,
Oh
I'm
yeah.
like, oh, it just, oh my God, take me to the hospital. And what's so bizarre about that is 2 weeks later, a friend of mine had a stroke and he passed because he had fluid on the brain.
Mm.
Yeah. So I'm so grateful. And yeah, I'm not at my full mobility. I have to do things in increments now, but as my grandmother would say, I'm still piddling around.
Yeah.
You know, I this my right arm, which is my dominant hand, um uh it's kind of jacked up. I can use it, but move a certain way or something, then it's just like just pain reverberating everywhere. And, you know, my daughter tells me that I don't, but I feel as though I have a slight limp. in my left leg. She's like, oh, it doesn't even. I said, I can feel it.
Mm-hmm.
I have uh, a slur sometimes when I'm talking. I know my body.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I bet it made you super aware though.
oh yeah. Oh my God. I'm like, everything is zero sugar, and they couldn't read my cholesterol. It was that high. It was unreadable. So yeah, you because I said, I want to live. God ain't done with me yet. So and it's where you have to make life decisions,
Mm-hmm.
life changes,
Mm-hmm.
right? Watch what you eat. You can't do it all at once. Do it in increments, like fried foods, and potato chips, and like I said, they told me if I better not drink any pop. None. You're gonna die.
Damn.
But I do. Every once a month I'll have one or two Pepsi Zeros, but increments, you know. I don't, my I said here that I was gonna, because I stopped drinking coffee and drinking pop for like 4 years, and then went back to it. So now, like I said, once or twice a month I might have a pop. Now I'm getting ready to stop drinking coffee, go back to my green tea. That's what I, drink every morning. Honey, drink the ginger, which is gross. Lemon water. Have to do things in increments. Don't try to change it. Set tangible goals. You know, but it's a life change, a life choice, and I want to live.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. And it, like you said, when you do make the small changes, it doesn't hurt as
as
bad,
bad. Yeah,
but it's habits that we have to form, because I mean we got to make the decisions.
yeah.
You want to be here or not?
We want to be here or not.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's something that you're passionate about?
Hmm. My true passion is kids, helping kids, you know, because of how I was raised and the
Hmm.
things that I went through, so I'm all for the kids.
And there's so many kids that need
Yeah.
everything.
That needs guidance, that needs structure. Our kids, and that's what's wrong nowadays. Parents aren't parenting, they're friending,
Yeah.
because we see it how parents, mothers have had kids 14, 15 years old. So now their child is 14, 15, they're 30,
Yep.
right? And they're just really living.
Hmm.
So now they're partying with their kids, and all this. If they're not partying with their kids, they're just as long as you stay out my hair, you go ahead, go ahead.
Yeah.
Not parenting, they're friending.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And there's so many things at that age, that 15 age.
yeah,
Well, really, I think hell nowadays 9,
yeah,
where kids they need so much. And of course, you can be a friend when that's necessary, but the guidance and the parenting is important also because the opportunity to make a bad mistake is,
within a split second.
man. And like I really try to, I shouldn't say try. I really like drill it in my kids' heads. Friends are important
Yeah,
because if you pick the wrong fucking ones,
yep.
here we go.
Here we go.
And then even like putting so much on friends when you're
Yeah,
that age, that's the end all be all of
yeah,
life,
yeah,
you know. And like just some of the things I experienced growing up, fucked up friends.
yeah,
But I'd like to say that for the most part, I was able to be like, you're pretty fucked up.
yeah,
I'm not gonna hang around you
yeah.
anymore, or at least pull it back.
Mm-hmm.
No, I shouldn't go places with you because what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah,
But like we were having a conversation a couple weeks ago with the kids about just how easy it is to get in the car with somebody. They got a gun, drugs, whatever. Now everybody in the car is fucked up.
yeah,
and you didn't mean to. All you wanted to do was get a ride
Get a
home.
ride.
You just want to get a ride home.
Mm-hmm.
But that's a decision.
Yep.
And I was like, sometimes you gotta be able to say, I don't know this person. I'll just, I'll walk, take the bus,
Yeah.
whatever your other, or call your parent, come pick you
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
But I was like, the difference between maybe a weak person is everybody else is getting in that car, I'm going too.
Yeah.
So I, telling my kids, like, real friendship is people that are not gonna put each other in fucked up situations.
Yeah.
A real friendship is not somebody that's gonna judge you for some stupid shit or make you feel some type of way. You might make
Or
fun of
give
each
you
other.
that peer pressure.
Yes. That's exactly where I was going with that.
Yep.
I was like, and then, sometimes you don't realize that until you're in your 40s.
Yeah.
Hell, we've all had about 17 different shifts of friends.
Absolutely.
But when you finally do realize what true friendship is, you're not gonna go back. So the question was, how would you define real friendship?
I have a friend right now, and we might not speak for 6 months, but we pick up when we see each
Just
other,
like you never left.
like I just seen you yesterday, or if there's a situation, anything, they're there.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter. And she is the best friend in the world. She is, oh my God, she has been there for me, through, a lot of ordeals. We've done a lot together. But like I said, it doesn't matter if I don't see or speak to her for 6 months. We'll pick up or text each other. Hey, girl, what you doing? I just thought and I actually texted her about a month ago and said, hey, I just dreamed you moved to Italy. And she's so stupid. She said, you know what? You right on time because I just turned Italian. Bonjour.
That's funny.
So, it's like that. That, she is my bestest friend.
Okay.
My bestest friend. That's somebody that's not going to judge you, that's there for you no matter what. She supports me through whatever.
Yeah.
She's also the devil's advocate. She'll, well, what you think about this? Or, I don't know. Maybe you need to do it like this. She gives her honest opinion, but she's supportive, even if you don't go the way she, thinks that you should go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah. What's an unpopular opinion that you have?
Someone has of me, or I have
that
of
you have in
someone?
general, like something that nobody. So you feel some way about something and nobody ever agrees with you.
I can't say that I have any.
I think everybody answers that the same way.
Yeah. No, really, because, and this is the God heaven truth, I've always been the supporter. People come to me with, a lot of things. And, I say, I stay in my own self lane. I don't go out there looking for nobody's business. They bring it to me. Just be ready for what I have to say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right. So, I can't think of any.
Okay. I'll take that.
Yeah.
How do you find peace?
With the man upstairs. He
Can't be mad at
provides
that.
all of my peace. I want to say the past maybe 15 years, really. I'm going to say that I've been at almost total peace within myself. Because really, I didn't know what peace was.
Mm-hmm.
My life had been so chaotic and so dysfunctional, didn't know what peace was. But, man, I'm at peace. I don't worry about nothing. I pray about everything. And, I do what I'm supposed to do, as far as like now, I'm working on buying another house. Take those steps, but I know it's already worked out.
Yeah.
But, he's not going to come, here you go. Here go your house right here. Come knock on my door. There's steps, there's things that we have to do,
Yep.
you know, but I am at total peace. Total peace.
That's good.
Yeah. And, I wouldn't have said that a few 24 hours ago because, like I said, I didn't know what peace was.
Yeah. Now, since you didn't come from women that really express love in an affectionate way, do you think you're good at doing that with your
Oh,
loved ones?
most definitely. I make sure, and that's something that I instill into my children every day before they go to school. My grandkids, I love you. Have a great day. Be awesome today. What have you? Every night before we go to bed, it's hey, I love you. Sweet dreams. Say your prayers every day. Every day. And I don't hug a lot, but I do. Uh, you know, I didn't get that, but I do it. Come here, girl. Let me give you a hug. Or my grandkids, come here. Hug me. Give me a hug. I need a hug. You know. But yeah, I say it every day. I have to say it every day. I love you
Yeah.
because tomorrow's not promised.
Hmm. And I think, like you were saying about, before they leave to go to school, that's a big one because it's a lot
Yeah,
out there. It's a lot.
I want them when they leave the house to have that fantastic attitude,
Hmm.
and know that they have someone there
Hmm.
for them, no matter what, hook or crook.
Yeah.
Granny gonna be there.
And then maybe even pass it along to somebody else that they encounter.
Yeah. Oh, my granddaughter who just turned 9. Oh my God, and she keeps me on my toes. But you know, the saying, everybody in this house, everybody that prays together stays together, and we do that. I bless my kids down with bless oil. Have done it. My grandkids since they were born. But my granddaughter, she's so, oh my God, um, just has such the biggest heart. She wants to help everybody because that's what she sees,
Hmm.
me doing. So, every homeless person she wants to, if we got food in the car, let's give them food. Even I got $1 in my purse or I got $1 in my pocket,
Yep.
can we stop and give it to them? She is, oh my God, she has the biggest heart. And I have to instill that into them because, although I say I'm wealthy, ain't nobody taking that away. I'm wealthy spiritually, mentally, physically, and financially. I never say I'm broke. I always say I'm low on funds. I don't speak that.
I like that.
Yeah. I never say I'm broke. I will always say I'm low on funds. Not right now.
Hmm.
You know. Um, but I forgot what I was gonna say just that fast.
Talking about basically like the positive energy
Yeah.
and her wanting to share whatever she has.
Whatever she has. Whatever she has. She wants to give. She's a giver, just like me. I'm the biggest giver. I'll give you the shirt off my back.
Hmm.
And especially for the babies. I'll go out of my way for the babies because, like I
And we
said,
should.
yeah,
What do we have it for if we
what do we
can't
have it
if
for?
if we can't
And
use it?
me, um, some people, my employers sometimes, like, oh, you're a little rough around the edges. Hey, but What does that have to do with my job?
Mm-hmm.
Right? I'm the only girl. I grew up with 6 uncles and 2 brothers. So yeah,
Yeah. There you go.
how you expect me to be?
Mm-hmm.
I played football in the snow, lift weights, shoot pool, you know. So, hey, it is what it is. But I tell you what, I tell them, I said, what does that have to do with my work ethic?
Right. I
And
show up every damn day.
exactly. And every time you put me on something, I always meet and exceed your expectations, don't I? So, yeah, I know I'm rough around the edges. I'm as ghetto as they come.
But that's how you still here.
But I know how to turn it off
Yeah.
when it's deemed necessary.
Yeah.
So, yep.
What are some things that you had to unlearn?
Oh, I done had to unlearn a lot. Um, how to communicate.
Mm. Sure.
Yeah, because communication is key.
Yeah.
And when you grow up without that communication, the same kids are to be seen, not heard.
Mm-hmm.
Your parents didn't talk to you. My mother never talked to us, really. You know what I'm saying? And growing up, like I said, with nothing but boys, being the only girl, my communication were these, right? Being beat by my mother and my stepfather, and come here with my grandmother growing up with my uncles, and you know, um, I'd be sitting on the couch doing my homework, because I got chased home from school a couple times because I'm the only half breed in school, and they were jealous, and you know, my uncles, they honest to God, I used to sit there and be sitting at the table doing homework. And it was 3 of them, and they would just come in, they would line up, boom, boom, just start tagging me, go around the table, boom, 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 and that's how I grew up. So I didn't have any communication skills, to say, "Oh my God, why are you doing this to me?" Why, whatever, anything. So yeah, I had to learn. I definitely had to learn how to communicate. I talk too much.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. We all need to talk.
Yeah,
That's the problem.
that's the
Nobody's
problem.
talking.
Nobody's talking. Yeah, exactly.
What do you think is the most impactful no you've ever heard?
Ooh, that's a good one. Impactful no that I've ever heard. Wow. Hmm. I mean, I heard no so much, but impactful. I can't even I can't even think right now.
I was thinking about that for myself, and I felt the same way. Like I've heard a lot of no's.
Yeah, heard a lot of no's.
I would say, I mean, they don't one doesn't really stand out, but I think I learned from my dad. He would say, I mean, what's the worst thing they could say? No. I mean,
Ah, you better stop it because guess what? That's what I tell my children. I promise to God every day. If you're trying to do something, if you're going on an interview or if you're trying to, get a loan, and I always tell them this: all they can do is say no. They can't take you to jail.
mm-hmm,
That's exactly what I tell my kids.
mm-hmm.
All they can do is say no.
And he said that, a lot. But the first time he said it to me and it mattered was, maybe about no, I wasn't about maybe about 6 or 7 years ago. I was trying to get a car, and I had I had gotten cars before,
Yeah.
but my credit had taken a dip, and I went to this place, and you see the commercials. You can come here with $2. You're going to drive out, whatever.
Oh, yeah.
So I go in there, I sit down, go through the rigmarole or whatever. So the first thing they ask you is, do you have credit issues? Yeah.
Yeah. Why do you think I'm here?
Blanket statement,
Right.
as far as I'm concerned. So the dude goes and does something, and he comes back, and he was like, yeah, well, we want to do the deal, but there's some issues with your credit. And like, I cussed this man out so bad. But it was empowering to me because it was like, I'm not playing fucking, are you serious right now? I told you I had credit issues when I came here. Your whole 72-minute commercial is about that. You literally said you don't even have to have a job to get a car. So my only problem is the credit. It's not the income and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
You're not going to sit here and judge me.
Yeah.
I'm not going to listen to you lecture me about my goddamn credit.
Okay.
You're going to give me the car?
Or you're not.
Or you're not. But we're not about to do this shit.
Mm-hmm.
So I got, I ordered an Uber. So I go to get in the, get ready to get in the Uber. He comes running out. Oh, yeah. I'm like, I don't got time for that shit. Are we going to do this or not?
Right.
But I'm not going to sit here and have this conversation with you. What the fuck?
Right.
You a bankruptcy counselor? What the fuck's going on? Am I coming to get a car from you? What's happening?
Right.
Here? He was like, I respect that. Blah, blah, blah. You're playing.
Right.
I don't want to talk to you. What are we doing here? Because here's my Uber.
Yeah.
So like, if I cancel this Uber and I come in here with you,
I better be driving out with something.
I better be driving out.
Okay.
Or guess what? You gonna take me home?
Yeah.
Or you gonna give me what we gonna do? So, I wasn't playing with his ass for the rest of that encounter. But like when I got the car and I got home, I was telling my dad, I was like, yeah, I don't know. It's like I was possessed.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about what you said about, the worst thing that they could say is no, but it wasn't even that. It was like I just felt it, like I felt very insulted. Like it was no with conditions. Like, I don't even know you.
Yeah.
How dare you judge me?
My friend just went through that same thing. The advertisement, $29. You bring us $29 as long as you have a job. You have a job right here on Western. You're gonna drive out with something.
Oh yeah, they notorious for that.
And she went there, sat there like 2 hours going through this whole shit, and then it's yeah, well, you're gonna need a cosigner.
Mm-hmm.
What the?
Or bring us $5,900.
Yeah. But you know what? To me, like I said, I've heard no so much in my life. No means next opportunity.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
It really does.
It really does.
And sometimes we're just not ready for whatever it was that we wanted, and we just, and you know what? Also, too, we've been talking about lately, be very intentional with the things that you pray for, and then prepare yourself to receive what you pray for. And if there's no space and you're not ready, maybe you're just not going to get it.
Because here's the thing. You be very specific, because God can be very humorous. Yeah. And he'll work it out. He'll fix it, but it might not be the way you expected it.
Mm-hmm.
And, I say that all the time to my friend that, you were just talking about this situation and he fixed it for you. Now you have to realize that he fixed it for you. Don't step back into that mess that you were just talking about.
Yep.
He got you up out of it. Now move forward.
Mm-hmm.
Because like I said, he'll fix it. He'll work it out. Whatever it is, that you're praying for, you have to be very specific.
Yep. Because you just never know.
Because you never know.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you feel like you can move on from situations without closure?
I do. I absolutely do. Because for me, I don't hold grudges. I might be, upset with you or mad with you for a couple of days. And then, like I said, I talk to my God, and whatever, that upset me, because I, I try to stay in the spiritual realm, which is hard,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because we are human and we are of the flesh. And, you know, it's just the things, the thought process. When you think feelings and emotions, they last all of 3 seconds.
They do.
3 seconds. Now it's up to you and your brain if you want to stay in that feeling or emotion,
Mm-hmm.
which we tend to do,
We do.
right? So I try to look at the bigger picture most often and say, you know what? It's okay. That happened. I don't know what that person might be going through or, you know, whatever the situation is. So I don't even, you know, um, dwell on it. I don't because it's like, oh, all right. You might be a bunch of motherfuckers and whatever, for that moment. And then I move past it.
Mm-hmm. You think that it's different if it's a habitual line stepper, like it's somebody that's just constantly just we keep meeting here.
Right.
What are we gonna do?
Hmm. Now I would say that if we keep meeting in that space, then I'm gonna have to remove myself from it.
Mm, I like that.
If it's having a negative impact on me, my children, you know, you know, any type of negative impact that we're continuously coming to this space and it's not fruitful, I have to remove myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I like that. What's something that you enjoyed as a child that you still enjoy today?
Oh, wow. We just talked about happy moments and having pockets. um, wow. You know, I really can't say because I really didn't have a childhood.
Okay.
I started at 7, not even 7, I want to say 5, where my mother had me standing up on a chair, washing dishes and stuff. 7, taking care of my brothers, making sure that we all got up for school and they had their breakfast and washing clothes and
So you could cook at 5?
no, washing dishes.
Okay.
Yeah, no, no. At 7, I was able to boil a hot dog or boil an egg, but most often it was, you know, um, cold cereal.
Okay.
Yeah. Um, from there, with my grandmother, when I came here, um, she didn't allow me to be a child. It was like, at 12, I still 11, 12, I wanted to play with dolls. She was like, "You too old for that." Threw all my dolls away.
Damn.
So I really didn't have a childhood, so to speak. Yeah.
Okay. If you were a ghost, how would you haunt?
I'm a happy ghost. I would, just, I think I would just go around and try to lift somebody's spirits. What? What, Mr. Engineer?
Stay over there in your corner, Mr. Engineer. I think I'd be a nosy ass ghost.
Yeah, yeah. I don't think so. I don't even know how I would. I guess I would go around and see. people's situations and everything, and try to give them, an uplift.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's cool. What's one of the biggest risks you ever taken?
Ooh, child. Oh, didn't I just say my daughter is just me? Just like whatever. I'm doing whatever I want when I want, and I'll deal with, you know, the situation, the repercussions afterwards. Man, I did so much.
Damn.
Yeah, I was terrible. I was. Like I said, I started hanging out with people at 12 that were like 24, 25. Um, was in a relationship with a man that was 10 years older than me. I was 15, he was 25.
Mm,
Yeah. Was in a relationship with him for 6 years. And phew, that I lied. A friend of mine I was going to school with, her brother was a forklift driver at a cherry packing shed. And she was like, "Come on, he gonna get us in." So I lied, told him I was 18. I was only 13.
damn.
And was in there with the older Chinese ladies picking the bad cherries off the belt. And I met him. And he actually was good in the beginning. He actually helped me because at that time, my mother ran off, was gone 2 months. My brothers and I, we didn't even know, like I said, where our next meal was coming from. Thank goodness she had a little credit at the corner store across the street. That's how we were able to eat. Um, and even though she was back then, it was food stamps in the book,
Mm.
and getting cash for us. And she didn't come home for 2 months. 2 months. And when she did come home, she told my brothers, "Pack your shit, let's go." She didn't say anything to me.
Oh wow.
"Pack your shit, let's go." Took my brothers, left me there. And a week later, boom, 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 boom. They're hanging up an eviction notice on the door. So, and the guy, his uncle, happened to, live in the building. And he let me, move in with him upstairs. I had on shoes that had holes in the bottom of them. He, took me, went and bought me shoes and just started taking care of me, you know? So,
That's a hell of a risk right there.
yeah,
What was your first job?
the cherry packing shed.
Oh, well, duh. Right.
No, I'm lying. My first job was with my mother at, I was a sales rep in a boutique. I was 12.
Okay, the same one
Yeah,
you were training the people.
yeah.
Okay. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Do you believe in soulmates?
Ha. I thought I did. I thought I did. I thought, actually, I only thought that I had one real soulmate. Um, and he evidently he's not. He wasn't. But yeah, I do. I believe in that. Yeah.
They say that and I've got to remember this dude's name. He actually wrote a book about it, that we're all we were always us. We always were in the same circles. We just played different roles in our different lives. So you could have been your grandmother, you know what I'm saying? Something like
Uh-huh.
that.
Uh-huh.
We're always in the same circles. We're always around the same people. We just play different roles in each different life.
Mm,
I really want to read that book.
that's deep.
So because I feel like I want to say I believe that.
Yeah.
Like I think that's really, really cool. But when you think about it, like sometimes when you're around certain people, you haven't known this person that long, but you feel like,
Yeah.
something, I don't know.
Some just clicks.
Hmm.
Yeah.
But I don't necessarily think soulmates just have to be a romantic situation,
No.
because sometimes you connect with people, on different levels,
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's like my best friend. Um, how I met her. Uh, she was my supervisor when I worked for the Illinois Department of Human Services, and she helped me come out of a situation with my husband. I say he's my husband. We were together 18 years before he passed. Um, and all I would do was go to work, come home, cook, clean. That was it. Nothing else. And we had the money to go anywhere in the world, to buy anything I wanted to buy. And he was afraid to leave off the block where I was, an adventurer. I want to do things. I want
Mm.
to see the world. I want to, go places. And she, invited me out one day, and I went out with her, and it was just like, oh my God, you know, um, we've been best friends ever since then. It's like, girl, why are you putting up with that? And, you know, I wouldn't do this. I wouldn't do, but yeah, I believe she is my soulmate as a friend, like like I say, everybody is put into our lives for a reason, a season, or a lifetime,
Mm-hmm.
right? And she's a lifetime. Yeah.
Okay.
It's hard and a lot of times it's hard for us to decipher that,
Yes. Yes.
because when, someone that's only there is supposed to be there for a season, but then, we feel like, oh my God, this person has to be here,
Yeah.
you know.
And that is one of the biggest problems
Yeah,
because they're not supposed to be,
they're not.
and you keep trying. Sometimes that will, knock things,
Yeah,
derail situations and whatnot.
absolutely. As one of the prophet, he said that everybody is not meant to go with you.
Mm-hmm. I think that's another of life's biggest struggles.
Yeah.
Everybody has this thing where, and even if you are whatever it is that you're doing, you're doing it despite some of these people.
Mm-hmm.
But then when you persevere and you get what you've been fighting for, and they didn't really do anything,
Yeah.
you still want to bring them.
That's me. I want everybody to go.
Yeah.
I want everybody to have and to thrive and to, and he was like, no, because God has a plan for them.
Mm-hmm.
They have to go through their situation, their circumstance, their trials, their tribulations. So, everybody's not meant to go with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think
Mhm.
when I was a kid, I had this. That was one of my hugest things. If I had $50 and I was with 26 people,
Mhm.
divide it up
We
evenly.
gonna
I don't even
divide
give a
it up,
damn. Yep,
right?
I don't care at all. As long as
Mhm.
everybody else was happy, as long as everybody around me
Yeah.
was happy, that's all I cared about.
Yeah.
And like even now, I don't care about material
I
things.
don't either.
I give it all away.
Let me tell you something. And this is God heaven truth. When I said I had the money my husband was one of the biggest dope dealers on the west side. I had diamonds on my toes. Honest to God, this is the God heaven truth. And um, I've always been a free hearted person. I've always given, you know, um, I always want to help, so it's just like I've had every kind of car, damn near, you know, um, every kind of piece. I had a 10-carat canary yellow diamond tennis bracelet, right? I didn't have my pinky ring was a carat. And I'm not talking about chips.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about a rock, one piece. And that was a pinky ring. So I still have some mink coats in my closet right now. materialistic things do not matter to me because I've had them.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like everything that I had, I still wasn't completely happy. You know, I still endured, being in an abusive relationship and having pistols pulled on me, bitch, you know,
Just
where you
not
at?
being safe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get woke up out of my sleep, him standing over me, with the pistol. Bitch, I know you had somebody in the closet. And, like, really? And at that time, I had a two flat in the city. And I finally said to myself, you know what, Lord, I would rather struggle than to keep myself in this situation. Because one day, who's to say that gun might not go off?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they're, oh, you crazy. I left with the clothes. That was it. Some of my jewelry. And I got up out of there. I had just went, at that time, it was Harlem Furniture. It's now the Room Place.
Yeah.
I just wanted to spend $20,000 on a bed set and, dining room set. I would never leave my own. I said, you know what? You're not walking in my shoes. You don't know what I'm going through. I would rather feel happy and safe than to keep going through this.
Yeah. It's the going through part that
Yeah.
the people don't understand.
They don't understand. Oh, you're crazy. I said, guess what? This is exactly what I told him. The building's in my name. He can't do nothing with it. I'm gone. He can live here. That's all he can do. I'm out of here. And I left.
Good for you. Because that shit sounds like a lot.
Oh, baby, it was. Trust me. I got burnt with an iron. Still got the iron mark. We were supposed to go out. He told me to press him out a pair of jeans. He fell asleep. I'm outside talking to a couple of friends of ours that was supposed to go with us. And he came out. So I go in, what's wrong? What's the problem? Bitch, you was gonna leave me. You was gonna go out anyway. It's like, I'm here. And I sat on the side of the bed and that's where I had the iron at and had the iron still plugged up. And he came over there and grabbed the iron and tried to burn my face. And I kicked my leg up and he burnt this leg right here. Oh, I went through a lot for money.
And comfort.
Mm-hmm. That's what it boils down to, My grandmother would say, even though he had a woman here, a woman there, you don't let nobody come in there and take what you done help him build and, all this. But here I am, ended up in the hospital with 17 stitches in my head. He bust me in the head with a pool stick and, being burnt with an iron and getting the pistol pulled out on me, at will. Yeah, it was too much.
Yeah.
I finally said, I want to live, and I want to live peacefully. Yeah.
Good for you. What would you say is your biggest insecurity?
Ooh, that's a good one. What am I insecure about? Not being as smart as I think I am.
You seem to do pretty good. You seem to do pretty damn good.
Well, at 4, I want to say, I think it was 4, I was labeled as a borderline baby genius. Now, where they came up with the borderline to me is either you're genius or you're not. The hell the borderline come in at.
Yeah.
So, you know, I've just been so blessed. I went by high school, right? Um, I ended up in prison. That's a whole nother story. Um, and you have to take this what they call TABE test. And I was only there for 61 days. I took the test, and I want to say about 5 days before my release date, they said, "Hey, do you want to take the GED?" At that time, I'm 32. Sure. Went in there and I aced it. Ain't no shit about the Constitution and, you know, the Illinois, whatever, whatever. And I went in there and I aced it. And that's how I've always been. Um, I have 2 degrees now. I have an associate's in business administration and a bachelor's in business management. I was going to school for to get a certification for operations management, but the professor pissed me off. So, you know, because to me, I've always straight A's, honor roll when I did go to school, right? Um, uh, a B I can deal with. Anything outside of a B is just like my whole energy just is like, what the what?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And now shit, now I'm thinking about myself like, damn, what did I miss? Where did I go wrong? You know, seriously. And but I've learned that man, I have to remain teachable.
Yes,
Yeah,
you do.
I do.
Yeah.
Years ago, you couldn't tell me that, but I have to remain teachable. I don't know everything.
That's another thing you unlearned.
Hey,
Okay.
yeah,
Then too, you have every single type of outlook one could possibly have. Street life, corporate life,
yeah,
just all kind of shit. I mean, you
yeah,
you can't you can't not kind of be a little smarter than the average bear,
yeah.
because you've had a piece of everything.
But you know what? I'm drawn. I am drawn to intelligence. They say you're supposed to align yourself with people that are smarter than you
Mhm.
and people that have more money than you
Mhm.
because you want to pick their brain to
Mhm.
get to where they are or even exceed them.
Yeah.
I am so drawn to intelligence, having an intellectual conversation, um, learning, you know, I mean, I don't know.
Yeah. And then, in growing up, every situation may not have been perfect, but you didn't necessarily have the luxury of not being perfect yourself. So you don't lose that
Yeah,
as you get older. It just
yeah,
kind of manifests itself in other things.
yeah,
And I mean, like, just, from what I know about you in your work life, I mean, you roll with the punches,
yeah.
but you understand working in corporate America exactly what it is.
What it is.
Because to me,
Hmm.
I mean, that shit is the twin to
It's, you
to
know what? And people think that it's easy. Corporate America is hard.
no, that shit. There's no difference between, I would say, like something like pimping and hoeing, because in corporate America you must know your role, and
You
the
got
moment
to.
the moment you do not understand your role and you don't receive the instruction.
And that's what fucked me up because when I went and became an operations manager for a day labor staffing agency, and now I'm in all these rooms with all these, presidents, and CEOs, and, you know, and maybe it wasn't their intention, but I think it was their intention. I just can't take someone, oh, I have a master's in this and a master's to be condescending to me.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
can't take it.
Yeah.
Because here you are, the same person, when I tell you about this project and how did we look at this? And what are we going to do about that? And this is what I came up with. And they're all like, oh, we never thought about that. And it's like, how could you not?
Yeah.
And, and then in the next breath, you want to be condescending to me. Oh, well, we've been discussing this for 6 months. And I'm get stank with you. Probably have. However, if you look at my tenure here, I've only been here 4 months.
Mm-hmm.
I just started meeting with you 2 months ago. So it's a possibility that you started talking about this 6 months ago, but I wasn't here.
It wasn't me. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's something to navigate.
It is.
It just
It is.
when you realize what it is though, it's freeing.
Yeah.
It sucks after that.
But you know what? And this is the only job, as God is my witness, that I have ever held. The earliest I received a promotion was 6 months at a place of business. 6 months to a year. I've met and exceeded expectations, and I've always gotten a promotion, right? Honest to God, this job had me in tears at least once a week.
You don't gotta tell me. And you know what and I say the same shit all the time. Like, you know how they always have those surveys and shit?
Yeah.
I say the same thing all the time. Like, you can send this shit around every year, but if you don't listen and understand the shit that we're saying, what's the point of this?
What's the point?
I don't want to sit in these meetings where you talk about how much money we made last quarter, yet 2 or 3 people that I work with are trying to figure out how they're going to get gas to get to the office.
Hello.
Or you got to work a whole damn year and then you got to hit all these targets in order for you to receive this punk ass bonus.
Yeah.
Which is, little trickling.
Trickling. Yeah.
But you just got a $6 million bonus.
Right.
I don't give a shit.
Man, they gave me my first bonus at the as operations manager after a quarter. And they were like, oh, because you of the survey thing, you get a $1,200 bonus. I was like, $1,200. But guess what? When I got it, guess how much it was? $550. After the taxes and I was like, ain't this about nothing?
And it's like, people, you work all day, every day, and it's like, you should be thankful.
Yeah.
And it's like, I have real life PTSD from working at, I don't know, what are they called now? A light, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, I can't go in certain areas by train stations that I used to take because I instantly damn near start to hyperventilate.
Yeah.
Like, because if you were late, you get in the currents. You get too many of them, you get fired.
Yeah.
You don't fucking afford to be fired when you got a family. You got to take care of.
Family.
But like, I haven't been working for them in, oh God, I don't even remember how many years now. But like, same thing. I noticed this 2 years ago.
Yeah.
I would go down Western, and we would get to the area where the metro is over there, and all of a sudden, I started doing weird shit in the car, like fidgeting.
Yeah.
And then I noticed me doing this.
Yeah.
What the fuck is wrong with me?
Right.
I'm just going to the grocery store. I don't have. I'm actually on vacation.
Attack. Right.
I'm about to full on hyperventilate.
Yeah.
And then when I looked up, I'm like, oh damn. Then I started to pay attention to that.
Yeah.
Like, I just, like, that shit. That I have been saying for the longest that somebody should start a support group for people who used to work there, because like some of the lessons that we learned, like when they went public, that shit was trash. It was just like a quick descend into, I started calling it the place where dreams go to die.
Yeah.
Like I remember we had this girl, she was a temp and she was Black. She was literally the smartest person on our team.
Yeah.
Like, she was brilliant. And like, we had been on the team for a while. A couple of us went to the managers like, hey, she needs to be doing something other than this shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, they would use her for stuff like, you know how when something happened, you have to record the message when they
Yeah.
call to
Yeah.
kind of, you know, bring the call volume down
Mm-hmm.
or whatever. They'd always use her for that because she had like a super like studious voice.
Yeah.
But I mean, she was fucking brilliant, crazy with numbers. Like she was great. But they were intimidated by that kind of shit.
Yeah.
And then like the people who are the most unimpressive, here they
Yeah.
come.
Yeah. Oh
Oh,
yeah.
what? You've been late 8 days this week? Let's get, you know, it's a promotion over there on the other side. Let's recommend you for that.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, we've been working there for 800 years, and we just like, all right, well,
Mm-hmm.
guess we'll just figure out how to get to work next week,
Right.
you know? They
That's like
change.
when I was saying about the me being the operations manager. I was the only Black person there,
Mm,
you know, and um it was just like it was just so crazy to me, you know, to sit in those meetings, you know, with them and listen to their, you know, keep me honest, keep me honest. Keep me honest. I really don't know. Let me think about that. And, you know, it was just, I came in, the only operations manager, and their sales goal, I'm sorry, not sales goal, but their revenue goal was 400,000. And I want to say the service center, it was in production. It had only been open for 6 months and they could never hit that target. And I went in the first 60 days and I was supposed to have 6 weeks training. I had 1 day of training. Everything was self-taught.
mm,
Um, I brought their sales up to almost 500,000, you know, after that. And for about, I want to say 45 days. And then I hit that 600,000. And this is a week with day labor, right? With our different clients. And then they decided, oh, we're going to bring in a director and bring in another ops manager. And when they did that, everything went to hell. And on top of that, they ended up releasing them before they released me, you know, because they released me. But, you know, they released the director. Then they turn around and release the other operations manager. And then, you know, they released me on my day off, Zoom meeting me,
great.
you know. I was just like, you know what? I know for sure I wasn't meant to be there. You know, I was a little upset, but I just said, you know what? That wasn't the place for me. Because, like I said, um, I was literally, you know, after they hired on the director and the operations manager, because I built two departments, an advocacy department, um, an admin department, um, built the culture to team build, and you know, because it was a build of a service center.
Mm-hmm.
So I assisted with our quality, you know, helping the quality director, giving him pointers and things like that, how we're going to process these different types of things. And like I said, I brought up the revenue, and none of that even mattered. How could you call off? I'm sick as a dog. How could you call off, you know, on a Monday? Like, what? I don't even, I've, you know, during that time, I never had a performance review. Nobody ever came to me and said, you know, hey, you know, you need to work on this, you need to work on that. Nothing ever about my attendance, because I was always, you know, there. Even though I was a salaried employee, I was always there 9, 10 hours every day. But I knew what it was. They had just changed the RVP and she was trying to clean house. She brought in a new director,
Mm.
somebody she had worked with for 10 years. And now they're trying to bring in other friends.
Yeah, and run things the way she wants
Yeah.
to.
Mm-hmm. But I learned a lot. Yeah.
Okay. All right. If you went back in time and
Mm-hmm.
could talk to your 19-year-old self,
Ooh,
do you think she would listen?
hell no.
What would you try to
Hell
say?
no. Be still.
Mm.
Yeah. Be still because, man, I tell you, I was all over the place. Never, thought about anything. Never any repercussions, how, to plan anything, how to, you know, I was in survival mode. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm mad at that. Okay. Everyone you've ever loved is in one room. Who do you run to?
My children.
Okay. Who runs to you?
My children.
That's the first. I like that. Okay.
Because, me and my children, well, I said I have 7 kids, but I'm going to say my last two because I didn't raise my other ones. Even though I have a relationship
Mm-hmm.
with, majority of them, but my last two are who I've raised. We've been together, been through things with. I am totally transparent with my children. Like I got 7 kids. I'll tell them your mama was a hoe. Yeah. I mean, there are things that happen within my life, and I don't make excuses, but I've told them my story
Mm-hmm.
and how I was in these situations and how I thought I was making the best decisions for them, on certain things. And, it's not to make any excuse. I can never go back in the past. I can never make up for anything. All we can do is work for today.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. Okay. The book of your life. What's it called?
Should I remember?
Damn. I love that. First 3 chapters.
Whew. What I can remember is my stepfather was a pimp. My mother was his bottom broad. She never hoed for him, but she was there. I was molested at 5 by a family friend. Um, yeah, it's deep.
Should I remember?
Yeah,
Holy shit.
because, like I said about coping mechanisms, we suppress so much,
Yes.
and still to this day, things pops out at me. 2 years has it been 2 years? It's been a little longer. About 5 years. One of my sons, um, I actually left at the hospital, and I forgot about that because I was homeless. I didn't have anywhere to go. I was on drugs, you know. And yeah, I left him at the hospital.
Have you paid attention to what your body does now when something pops up that you don't want to think about, like what your thing is?
No, I haven't.
Pay attention to that.
Yeah,
I hum.
really.
So how I noticed this was one day I was washing dishes and I can't tell you what the fuck it was because I don't remember.
Yeah,
But I noticed some shit popped in my head. It was quick, like flash.
yeah.
And I instantly was like, And I was like, what the fuck? I literally, what the fuck?
Wow, I'm gonna have to pay attention to
And then
that.
I kind of like stopped and I'm like, what the fuck? And then it happened to me again. And I had heard a song and it triggered like a memory and that humming shit. And I was like,
Yeah,
what the That is so weird. And I went and I Googled it. And that's a thing. Everybody's got a different thing. You
Yeah.
got to pay attention to whatever it is. But I forced myself to stop.
Yeah.
Don't block that shit out. What the fuck is
Let
it?
it come.
Let it come.
Come to the
Let's figure
forefront.
why is it
let's,
coming?
yeah.
What's going on?
Yeah.
Like you have to do that. But first you got to recognize it.
Yeah. Yeah. And you said, what is your book? I started my book. It's been about 15 years now. And that's the title, Should I Remember?
I love that.
And lost everything. I had everything saved on my laptop and end up losing my laptop in a move.
Damn.
Yeah.
Do it again?
Yeah. That's what I said. I've always said that I've, wanted to write a book. We all have a story.
Mm-hmm.
However, someone out there can relate
Yes.
to your story.
Yes.
And what you put in there might be able to help them save their life.
Yeah.
And that's what I think about. How I've overcome so many things and how I overcame. And that just might, not you per se, but might help you.
Yeah. I definitely agree with that.
Yeah.
Like people are super self-aware now, but so what if you're not doing anything with it or trying to, just do better?
Yeah.
Because I feel like if you can say at the end of the day, I'm happy with the person that I am, you've done your job.
Yeah.
But every day, wake up and meet yourself again.
Yeah.
Try again.
Try it again.
What's the
like
worst?
I say, let's make today better than it was yesterday.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I do not disagree with that. Last question.
Mm-hmm.
If you died suddenly and cannot say your proper goodbyes, what would be your biggest regret?
Oh my God. And you know what? You said that, and that is so here now because of my heart attack and my stroke, right? And it's my biggest regret would be if I haven't done it so far, if I died tonight, not being able to have all of my children in one room at one time.
Mm.
I've talked to my children. My two sons were in the Marines, special ops. One of my daughters was in the Air Force. My other four daughters, they're in the healthcare industry. One's an RN, one's a director in a nursing home, working to open up her own facility. My last two daughters, one of them she graduated 2 years ago as I can never think of what the hell she graduated, medical assistant, and she's been in that field forever, as a personal assistant or caregiver. And then my youngest, she wanted to be a doctor until she found out how many years she had to go to school.
I know that's
And
right.
I said, what the hell you gonna be doing?
I know that's right. You gotta be able to. You gotta know yourself. I'm not doing that.
Yeah,
shit.
she said, I ain't gonna be able to do it. But she loves being in like me in the office, and so she's getting ready to go back, to get a human resource certification. She was a financial coordinator, a supportive living facility. So very happy and proud, with my children. And I just haven't had them all in one room at the same time. That would be my biggest regret.
I'm not mad at that. I love that though. Should I remember?
Yeah.
That's a great title.
Yeah.
And you definitely should do that because I want to read it.
Oh my goodness. And when I started it and things started started resurfacing, would pop up, and I'm like, damn, I forgot all about that. Damn. Oh, you know, like, wow.
It probably make you feel like a damn superhero because you're still here.
Man, by the grace of God. Man.
That'd be a good title also.
Yeah. Yeah. By the grace of God, man. I'm just, and being totally transparent, I almost didn't make it here today. And I'm really happy that I did come because, you know, um, I have my good days and my bad days as far as my body. Um, like I said, I have to do things in like 15-minute increments,
Mm-hmm.
30-minute increments now. Um, my back is really jacked up too. I have two herniated, two bulging and sciatic nerve.
Good Lord.
And since I've had this stroke, it's like, it flares up more often. Um, so, once I, as I say, once I head to my room, once I go in my room after work, it's a
That's
wrap.
it.
I don't want to talk to anybody. I give my kids about 30, 45 minutes, because I do talk to them throughout the day. But after that, I'm just in my room. And I just said to myself last week, actually, man, I got to start getting back out there. Start, slowly moving. I was out there cutting trees the other day.
Damn.
Whereas I was able to cut down maybe 4 or 5 trees, little small bush trees. But either way, I was a person that could landscape your front yard and your backyard just about 6, 7 months ago. But I cut 2 trees down, had to go in the house and rest and, then come back and work on this other tree. But guess what? I'm so thankful.
Mm-hmm.
As my grandmother says, I'm still piddling around. And then I have to think about it. Girl, you knocking on 60's door. You doing all right.
Yeah. There's so many
Yeah.
people that way younger.
Man,
Way younger.
absolutely. So I'm really, really happy that I did come here today. I thank you for inviting me.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah.
We love stories over here.
Yeah.
Tell the people again the name of your organization, and then of course all of the information how they can reach you. They want to volunteer or whatever.
Well, I had a podcast, and so I should resume. I'm going to work on resuming around the holidays because those are really hard times for some people.
Mm-hmm.
Mental wellness, right? Um, the name of my organization is Let's Wrap Wellness. Um, the number, if you want to talk, or if you have something, that you'd like to, uh, uh, be supportive of, is the phone number is 844-897 5727.
Okay.
Yep. And the email is let's wrap dot coffeemore@gmail.com. I'm still working on my brick and mortar. That's the thing. I was looking at some property around the corner from my house, and it was actually a school. And I was, working on leasing it. Then, oh, nope, it's for sale. How much is it for sale? 1.5 million.
Well, thank you very
But I
much.
serve an awesome God. You know, um, it deterred me a little bit, and then I got down sick because some of the people that I had on my podcast, are you know very influential and know some of the aldermen and the congressmen, and can direct me on which path to take and different things like that. So yeah, it's just really building my momentum, you know, physicality
Mm-hmm.
back up because it's all about networking and being out there. Yeah.
Excuse me. Okay. Well, it has been great.
Yes, it has.
And you have an amazing story. I can't wait to read that damn book. I'm so serious. Well,
Yep.
thank you guys for tuning in for another episode of the Trust Tree. We'll be back next week. As always, imparting, in the words of Avon Barksdale, keep it light, keep it